Hello, I'm here with Stanley Hanna. Stanley, how are you going?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
A bit tired after the 3 last days have been pretty hectic, you know.
Yeah, you've had a big birthday weekend, as I can see here. You've got a nice card from His Majesty
And the
the
big
King.
Vietnam Day yesterday.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, Vietnam Veterans Day yesterday.
Yeah.
And the weekend, your 100th birthday.
Yeah, yeah. So, yes, it was all in all, it's been pretty hectic. But I realise now I am 100.
Yeah. And so what is it like? I mean, that's not a lot of people get to celebrate a 100th birthday. Have you been looking forward to the milestone?
No, I haven't thought of it even. You know, honestly, I have not thought of it. It's a big thing for some people, I can assure you, you know.
Yeah.
But I've just plodded along through life, you know.
Yeah, well, you're looking fantastic. Yeah. What do you credit long
I
life
don't
to?
know. I don't know, Mr. Mayor. I really don't know. I have worked hard in my day. You know, I've had a lot of hard work, and
You were a truck driver for most of your career?
yeah. So you told me. Well, I was connected with not only trucks but bulldozers. We done all subdivisions and roads and all that. You know, and yeah, about 80 odd years. I think 85 years or something.
Yeah.
But
And mostly in New South Wales?
yeah, mostly in New South Wales. Yeah.
And that's where you were born?
I was born in Liverpool, and my memories are when I was a kid. We never had much those days, I can assure you. If you made a bob, well, it was good.
Yeah.
If you didn't, bad luck, you know. But anyway, I was about 12 or 14, I think, when the AIF went into Ingleburn Camp. That's about 7k out from Liverpool. And when they finished their training, if you can visualise a little town with 3 hotels, one on each corner, like that, and a railway station. This is where they all loaded up. And all of a sudden, out of that camp came all these soldiers, hundreds of them, hundreds and hundreds, all going to the Middle East.
Yeah.
And we used to laugh. They would come down from the camp in these big old white buses, big old square bombs, you know, and they'd be sitting on the front with their big flared mud guards on them. And there'd be soldiers sitting on a flared mud guard on the bonnet of the thing, hanging out the doors and windows everywhere.
Yeah.
And so it happened. But no one seems to care them days anyway, you know. Oh, it didn't fall out.
Yeah.
And it was quite good, yeah. And I was a paper boy there. I was selling papers to the...
Yeah, I imagine being born in August 1926, your early childhood in Sydney would have been in the Great Depression.
Oh, right in it. Yeah, right on. Things were tough them days, you know.
And so being a paper boy was your first job?
Oh, yes. Well, after I'd sold papers and everything else, Mum said to me one day, well, I don't know, son, but I was in, high school. I had about 6 months to go in school, you know. She said to me, son, well, things are real tough. We had no money, no nothing. We had a shilling in the slot for power, if you had put a shilling in the slot. And people used to come around and sell rabbits, dressed rabbits, 2 for 6pence, you know. And clothes props and rabbits, they were, people were everywhere trying to get it, you know. Anyway, it was tough. So anyway, my uncle, he worked in the woolen mills and they were making blankets for the army, those grey, lovely blankets. And Mum said, I'm going to see Uncle Ben, see if he can get you a job. You might have to give up school. I had about 6 months. I said, okay, Mum. So she seen him, and he was in charge of what they call a carding room, where they spin all the wool into yarn. They go through shuttlecocks for the spinning, you know, for the blanket. So he said, I can get you a job, he said. I said, what is it? He said, doesn't matter what it is, just come down. So I came down there and the management looked me up and down and said, okay, we'll give you a job. They said, you're starting on 12 and 6 a week. I think that's about $1.25 our money an hour, isn't it?
Yeah.
12 and 6. It's, I had a 10 shilling note, a 2 bob piece, and sixpence, and I paid threepence tax.
Yeah.
And anyway, the first thing he gave me was a big oil can with a long spout on it. Mm-hmm. He said, you can be the oil boy around here, and go around all those machines and just touch them on the head, a bit of oil, you know.
Yeah.
And anyway, I was delighted, you know, because I was still selling the papers of an afternoon anyway. So, it was a real experience. And another thing, I wanted to get a ticket to the pictures, and the pictures were sixpence, I think. And I went up to the management of the picture theatre, because there's only one theatre, and I said, if I get on my push bike, I'll go around to those big signs you've got all around the area, and I'll post up the pictures. Speed Gordon and Mandrake the Magician and all that type of thing. And I used to do that, you know.
Yeah.
Anywhere from Bob them days, you had to.
Yeah.
So when the really massive troops came down from Ingleburn, it was just magic. You know, you can imagine 3 hotels and all the troops lived.
The hotels would have done well, yes.
And they were all going to be loaded into the steam train that was waiting for them.
Yeah.
So they're all having a beer real quick. And I was running around then collecting bottles. Yeah. And they used to drink those big bottles of beer,
Polly's.
that round they were. 2 or 3 of them would buy one, you know, and they're all into it. Yeah. So, all in all, it was pretty good.
Yeah. And when you were a paper boy, that was at train stations?
Was that?
When you were a paper boy, did you often sell the papers at the train
station? Yeah. This particular one day, I was down on the station. You had to go a set of steps to go down to the station. And the train was there waiting for the troops to all board up. So I'm walking along there yelling out like a kid, paper, paper, you know. Anyway, this man, down the second carriage from the front, I remember him quite well. He said, young fella, give me a son. I said, okay. And I give him the son. He gave me sixpence, which in those days, paper was about tuppence, I think, you know. So, and with that, when I'm trying to get the change out, I had a little leather bag here. And when I'm trying to get the change out, the train started to slowly started to go. And I'm running behind the train, trying to get his fourpence out. And when I got to the end of the station, I couldn't go any further. He's yelling out to me, don't forget that fourpence. He said, I'll see you one day and I want it back. I'll never forget that. Yeah. And would you believe that saying, look, I don't know how it happened or what happened, but I was playing bowls at Bribie Island one day, and I was running the game really, or pairs, men's pairs. Anyway, I sort of paired myself up with this fella, and he kept looking at me in a strange light. I said, what's the matter? You got any? He said, Stanley said, did you ever? He said, where was you born? I said, Liverpool. Because he had been in that Ingleburn camp, see? Yeah. He said, did you ever sell papers on the station? I said, oh, quite often. I'm up and down there all the time, yeah. Well, he said, do you remember? I said, look, that's a long time ago. I was 12 or 13 years of age. He said, do you remember running along the side of the train, trying to get my change out of your leather bag to give me, which was fourpence? And I said, I think I do. And he said, well, that was me. I was heading for the Middle East. And he said, you know, it transfixed a picture into my head of you. And he said, I think you I could have, I think you kept me alive. Yeah. He said it was with Dunkirk in them days, see. And he said, I still had that photo of you running down that station, you owe me 4p. Yeah. I said, oh, it couldn't be. He said, it is true. He said, it is true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Mum. Anyway, it was true, and God only knows how it happened or how it could be.
Yeah, because this would have been many decades later.
40, 50 years later.
Yeah, 50 years, yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it?
And so was it being around the men at Ingleburn that made you want to enlist?
What was that, Jim?
Was it being around the army camp that inspired you to enlist?
Oh, yes, because because there was Americans there too, you know. Yeah. I used to get around the army camps selling papers and that with the Yanks and everything there. And it was quite a congestion of people those days there, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, being born in 1926, you would have been, you know, a young teenager when the war started. Yeah.
But it didn't matter. We had to get a bob somewhere, you know. Mm-hmm. We had no one hand us money them days, like Centrelink here today, you know. It's,
and so what year did you enlist? Would have been late in the war, from your age, like 43, 44?
Yeah, well, that's right. I never got in the army until I was 44.
Yeah,
1944. Yeah. I was 18 years of age.
Yeah. And so you think that being around all the servicemen inspired you to do that?
Oh, it did inspire me. Yeah, it did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But I was unlucky. I went to Bathurst first, AITB training centre. I trained there. Then they shot me across to Cowra. I was in Cowra training centre for a while. Then back to Sydney. And they were organising different ones to go to the Pacific. Yeah. And I said to the skipper, this is about April, May, June of my life in the army. I said to the skipper, when's my turn? When am I going? He looked at me and he said, you're still 18, aren't you? I said, yes. He said, you're not going. Because he said, we've got these blokes beat, these Japs. Yeah. He said, we've got them beat. He said, we've got to have a bunch of you 18-year-old boys fit, he said, to help all the POWs and people that need help. Mm-hmm. And that was true, because at Ingleburn camp, they brought them in there by bus, of some of them poor people, them poor fellas, they were a mess, you know. Mm-hmm. We carried them into the hospital there and everything. Mm-hmm. So I escaped the real action, but later on, I wonder what happened then. I went back to camp and I thought, oh, well, the war's over, I'm getting out of here, you know. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't that way at all. Yeah. Next thing I know, I was sent to Brisbane by train, and we're in the Eka showground. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was all in the Eka. Yeah. And next thing they said, right, pack your gears up. I was in Urungapilli. You know where Urungapilli? Yeah. Mm. There was a camp there too, you know. So anyway, they said, right, pack your gear up. This is Christmas 45, just after the war finished, just after my birthday. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I said, where are we going now? down to the Brisbane Harbour, under the Story Bridge. Mm-hmm. The old Canberra was there. Mm-hmm. And we all boarded the Canberra. We didn't know where we were going. Yeah. We were going somewhere. We were heading north. We were heading up into the islands. Because what had happened, they grouped all the soldiers throughout the Pacific Islands and brought them all to Rabaul.
Mm-hmm.
Now Rabaul, I don't know if you know, but it was one of the strong points of the Japanese. They captured Rabaul.
Yeah.
They built factories and everything, and Australians just don't know how lucky they are, because they were here. We couldn't have stopped them. There's no way we could have stopped them. But they beat them in that big armada of ships, and that where they sunk all those ships, and troops went down with them, you know. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so it was a real. So when we got up there, then we had to. They gave me a Jeep, Willie Jeep, to drive, because I had a license, a G11 license.
You still got your license at
100?
100?
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah,
still got a license?
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah. G11, and they gave me a Jeep to drive, and I had a little box trailer in the back, and I was running from the ships in port, taking medicine that across to our hospital on that island, you know, on Rabaul. So, yeah, all in all, and all the troops was wonderful, you know. They came from Borneo, they came from Finchhaven, they come from Wewak, and sitting on the beach waiting for me to come on. I don't know how he knew. Was still my one schoolmate from Liverpool and my best mate.
Yeah.
They're sitting on the beach. They found out I was coming.
Wow, that would have been good. Yeah.
With a big bunch of bananas.
Yeah, fantastic.
You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, fantastic.
As soon as I got off the landing barge, they yelled, "Hey, Stanley!" I'll never forget it.
That's incredible. And then how soon did you get back into civilian life?
Oh, about 47. 47. Yeah. But I've heard some awful tales. A mate of mine, he was a POW, Keithy Rathmole. He was a wonderful man. He done 3 years with the Japanese as prisoners.
Wow, 3 years.
And he said to me, we were talking there one day, he wouldn't talk to everyone, but he talked to me, He said, you know what? I said, well, what happened over there, Keith? Can you tell me what happened? He said, yeah. He said, when the Japanese broke into the mainland at Singapore, they got on the top. We were all in the plantation, the palm tree plantation, waiting for them. And he said they came in big numbers. He said, you know. Anyway, he said there was a hell of a fight there. And he seen one. He said, my mate was on the end of the next tree. He said, this Japanese officer got him and swished his head straight off. Well, he said, I've never been so brutal in my life. He said, never. He said, I had a little Tommy gun, an Owen Tommy gun. He said, I keep hitting him with a Tommy gun until he fell in half. Yeah. That was officer bloke. Yeah. But he said, we finished up and what happened there, he said, we were ordered by the English generals. There was a causeway between where they were and Singapore. Yeah, and anyway, they ordered us to retreat back into the causeway. He said, we could have stopped them in that forest, but they wanted us back. So we had to come back over the causeway. He said, what does the Japanese do? I said, what? They turned all the water supply off. All the water supply was where we were. And they turned all the water supply off. And it was real stinking hot, you know. So he said, next thing I ordered, put your arms down. Yeah. And then we had to surrender. Yeah. Poor old Keith, I'll never forget him.
And then 3 years.
They were in Changi prison. Yeah. They put them all in Changi prison. And I said, how'd you go from there? Well, he said, I was there for 6 months, I think he said, in Changi. And I said, what about the meals and that? He said, oh, God love it. He said, we used to sneak out under the fence of an odd time and we'd grab a leaf off a cabbage plant or a cauliflower plant or something with a green. The food was that bad, he said, you wouldn't believe it, Stan. I said, why? Well, it's that bad, he said, we were all vomiting when we was trying to eat it. It was all rice full of grubs. Yeah. He said, so we had a meeting We had a meeting between the whole hut. No eating before dark. So we used to sit in the dark, knowing that we're swallowing all this rubbish, grubs and everything. And of course, they went very thin, those, some of them.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures, yeah.
Really tough. So, and I said, well, what happened then, mate? He said, then they come around, they took half of them, I was one of them, he said, they took half of us to Japan. They wanted labour in Japan.
Yeah.
So they loaded us in the boat, and away we go to Japan. He said, all we had was a pair of shorts out of the Singapore heat. In Japan it was freezing.
Yeah.
And they stood us on the wharf at attention when we got off the boat. In freezing weather, he said, we were there for about 4 hours just standing there. He's knocked a lot of blokes over, you know.
Yeah.
And he was a wonderful man, wonderful. Yeah. Anyway, and I said, what did you finish up? He said, I finished up a welder's offsider. He said, then they put us into the burrows up on the hill, beside the hill. We had to get in there on their knees, and we're digging coal, loading buckets and pulling the buckets out, you know.
Yeah.
He said, oh, it wasn't good, he said, you know. Then he said, one day after time, he said, time went on. He was there for 3 years, he was POW. Time went on, he said, one morning, he said, I woke up, and he said, I looked around, there was no guards. All the guards had gone, disappeared.
Yeah.
And somebody said, the war's over. He said it couldn't be, it was over.
Yeah.
They just vanished, the guards,
Yeah.
and left them all where they were.
Yeah.
So they were rounded up by the different companies, you know,
Yeah.
and taken down for help. Yeah, that was a real part episode in my life, listening to what they did.
Extraordinary, yeah.
Incredible.
To get through that.
Yeah.
In civilian life, you were a truck driver in civil works?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Good. Well, you took any sort of a job, you know. It was. It wasn't like suddenly walking in today and manpower was in.
Yeah.
And manpower, if you never done what you were taught when you weren't looking for a job, you were out that door and don't come back. You know. And they used to give you a docket to go and interview the boss or the manager, whoever it was, of that company where they send you. And if that job was available, you would take it.
Yeah.
If you didn't take it, don't go back looking for another one, because you wouldn't get one, you know.
Yeah.
But they were real tough them days, and yeah, and so life went on, you know. I was on interstate driving for quite a while. Yeah. I used to load in Sydney and go to Melbourne, unload in Melbourne, reload in Melbourne, go to Adelaide, come back from Adelaide to Melbourne, reload again, and come back to Sydney.
Gosh. Yeah, wow.
It's a few okay.
Yeah, well, and now you found your way to Harvey Bay.
Yeah, I found my way. Well, surprisingly enough, my boy, my young bloke, he's a chemist, a coal chemist. I made him get a trade. I said, you got to do something. So he was a coal chemist, and he moved to Brisbane. And he got a job at Rio Tinto, the big mining up at Middlemount. He was one of the first in there, and he was in charge of all the chemistry work in the lab and everything else. And he had the job. Well, he was part of his job. He had about 3 or 4 men on the chain going up that used to take a dip, and they'd give it to him, and he'd measure how much water was in it. And say it's 200,000 load or something like that. And he's got to estimate, if there's 200,000 tonne of coal, he's got to estimate the amount of water that's in that coal, because there's a discount, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he had a marvellous job there. And we moved up here so we'd be close, and we used to go and visit him up in Middlemount. Yeah.
And you must have a few children and great-grandchildren?
They've all got grandkids now. I've got about 7 or 8. How many grandkids I got, Cheryl? 7 or 8, I think. And they were up here, actually.
Yeah, it was wonderful to see them at the tree planting for your birthday.
Yeah, they turned up yesterday. They were supposed to go home.
Yeah.
they all flew out the day before Sunday, but there was still a crew here on travelling by road. So that, and when they found out this big turnout was on yesterday, Dad was there, you know, Pop was there, they all hung around the set.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Good service, yeah.
Yeah. And we moved into, Shirley and I got together. I lost my wife, and I was just destitute. After 55 years, I was just lost. I was. And she used to walk around the village where we were every couple of days. Every day she'd walk around. And she was looking at me, eating cornflakes, sitting on the veranda. And I used to go down to Twin Town Services Club for lunch. And I always, as soon as I walked in, I'd look around for some dear old lady sitting on her own, because I knew that she'd be in the same position I was in, you know. Yeah. And I never got knocked back. I walked over quite often. I said, "Do you mind, dear, if I sit with you at lunch?" You know. Yeah, okay. She says, "Oh, honey, too glad, love. Sit down." Yeah. And life goes on. You never know. Yeah. You've got to treat people as you find them. And I've always tried to help people out and everything else. But
well, you've lived a very full and active life, participating and serving and helping. So
I've done all that all my life, you know. And people say, "How did you do it?" I said, "I don't know how I do it. I just treated life as it come along, and if a person was nice to me, I was nice to them." Yeah, you know. Good. And I know it sounds hard, but it was hard, you know. In my early life, things were very tough. We had no money. Yeah. Them days, there was on welfare, poor old Dad, he used to have to line up. They had a line of trenches. They were putting big pipes in. And the foreman would walk along that line and say, "I want you. Wow. Wheelbarrow." Yeah. There's no automatic mixers, hand mix all of it. Wow. And then wheel it down into the trenches to around the pipes, you know.
That is a different world.
That was hard work,
And Stanley, this last weekend is your birthday, so you got lots of messages from the King and others. Has it been a good birthday celebration?
Oh, beyond all belief. Yeah. Beyond all belief. It started with you wonderful people giving me that tree, and it's just incredible, you know.
Yeah, I hope good health allows you to celebrate many more happy birthdays with family and friends.
I've had my ups and downs through health, you know. But anyway, we got through it.
Yeah, you certainly have. You got through it very, very well. You're a real inspiration, Stanley.
It's been nice to meet. In this village, we have a wonderful village here, you know. We sit there and I watch all the people daytime, they're all walking past and going on, laughing and going on. And it's great that way.
Yeah, I can see you're a real part of the community.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Especially here where we were lucky to get this home.
Yeah, this is good here.
Yeah. So, yes, it's been a wondrous thing. We moved up here in about, the 90s, I think it was. And we had a unit over near the police station where it is now, up in that row of units there. Yeah. So we sold that, then we decided, we'll get a caravan, we'll go to travel. Yeah. So we did that, we bought a caravan, started to move around, and I got as far as Grafton. And there was a lovely Hollywood mansion type home. Yeah. Going to auction that night, you know. Yeah. And silly me, sure, I didn't tell Silly. So I went to the auction there, and I made a bid card up, who I was now. And I finished up buying, I think. That was a gorgeous home, really, but too big for us. Terrible. You know, I could park 5-6 cars in the garage, sort of thing. A massive, but a beautiful home. In a beautiful position. It was over a gully, just like that, full of kangaroos and all that, you know, wonderful thing. So, I have no complaints about life, George. I've done it tough, but I've done it.
Yeah, I can see you've done it very, very well.
Yeah, well, it's somehow I've got over 100. I don't know how.
I'm sure you'll live for many, many more years.
Oh, I have so much.
Soon.
Yeah, I love to see the kids grow up now.
Yeah.
You know, they're all starting to grow
Yeah,
up.
it must be wonderful. Yeah. Now, having lived a long and active and productive life, do you have advice for people on how you've done it?
Just be, like I say, just well, people treat you as you treat them.
Yeah.
I've always found that all my life.
Mm-hmm.